Welcome in to this edition, Blue Sky Live. Here with you this morning, Chase Parham, Neal McCready. I am in Oxford, Neal in Palm Desert, California. Neal, is that the correct
This that's
phrasing
correct.
this morning?
That is correct, I believe. I'm in Palm Desert. I landed in Palm Springs, but I'm in Palm Desert.
Palm Desert, California. He is there for basketball. Ole Miss in Iowa tomorrow night. I think 8:30 Central is the tip time for the Hawkeyes and the Rebels. And then either Utah or Grand Canyon on Wednesday after that. Yeah, Neil had a travel day yesterday, so appreciate him getting up at what is now 6:13 as we start uh, Pacific time this morning. Obviously, the news, not basketball, even though we'll have plenty of coverage. And all you people who have joined, and there's been a lot of you, we appreciate each and every one of you at Rebels 24/7. We give you a full Ole Miss athletics experience, and that includes in-person basketball coverage tomorrow night. So it's not just football. You'll get plenty of things when you hang out with us. Stay with us through this very volatile time for the Rebels football program. But we'll get into that a good bit here today, this morning. Talk about the schedule, talk about the week, talk about what all is going on. Lane Kiffin is scheduled to speak later today. Again, we'll get into those specifics and more coming up on a show brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations throughout the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55, throughout North Mississippi as well. We got Sweet Daddy stops at most of those locations. You can stop on in, get a lunch special, get all your catering needs, almost done with home games, with plenty of time to feed the family. Also for holidays, a great way to get that extra something there with Sweet Daddies and Blue Sky here in Oxford. And again, no one's in the Clark Ford studio, but Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi now.
It is Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it, ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line, no hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline, from fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions. The pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care. For growing bodies, visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111. Someone asked about basketball coverage. It's brought to you by Funky's. Funky's Pizza and Daiquiri right there just off the square in Oxford. Everybody knows where Funky's is. If you're in town this weekend, make Funky's your place to check out the Rebels. They play the Iowa Hawkeyes tomorrow, 8:30 Central, 6:30 out here in California, but 8:30 Central, so it'll be a perfect night to watch the Rebels. Then, of course, Black Friday with the shopping, the Egg Bowl, all of that. Make Funky's a stop if you are in or near Oxford.
You see, as we've been telling you the last few days, little, not really change, just another option for you. We have been telling you guys that, all the super chats, Google, the man takes a ton of that. So if you don't want that to be the case, got the Venmo link there on the screen. Again, not asking, just giving another option there for you if you'd like to do that. But if you do that, do me a favor and either post your question in the description when you send the Venmo, and in the chat here, capitalize Venmo, like make it as bright and shiny as possible in the comment section where I can give you your due for that and make sure I see it as well. I will try to get them on the screen, but I don't know what it's going to look like. I have to kind of mess with that. So anyway, that's where that is. Appreciate you guys that have taken part in that there the last few days. So we had a podcast on Saturday. I don't know that a ton of change has happened since then as far as opinions, so focus on that. If you have not listened, have you not checked out our Saturday special edition of MPW Digital? It's a great time for that. I did find, and again, you can go listen to it. We are all friends here. You should go listen to it. Richard Cross had Glenn Boyce on this morning. I listened to it for a few minutes right before we started the show. Nothing overly revealing, but it is worth talking about for a second. I don't think Neil listened to it, so I'll try to do my best to paraphrase and fill him in as I'm filling all of you in as well. Richard did a good job. He asked about the meeting on Friday, and as to be expected by an administrator who is not going to give you meeting secrets, he put the focus elsewhere. He did say that there would be conversations with Lane continuing throughout the week, leading up to Friday, Saturday, whatever the phrasing is you would like for this. I mean, Ole Miss would love an internal answer on this prior to Friday. Push for it, love it, all the ways and the positive affirmation you can get there for that. Will they get that? I have my doubts, but we will see as the week plays out. And then Boyce also completely put the focus on the players. He talked about how the players aren't getting talked about enough. It's on the players. The players are the ones that have gotten them here, and that is a lot of the reason for the success. He also highlighted the assistant coaches, said that they're the ones that are the closest to the players from a staff standpoint. They're the ones that they're with every day. They're the ones that are keeping them focused and locked in on the task at hand. Boyce also, again, this is worth listening to. I give Richard a ton of credit here.
I'm intrigued.
He also pointed out how tough of a place Vaught Hemingway is to play right now. He had stats. He said they're, I think, what is the stats? 38-3 in the last 41, something like that. Also, 21-1 in the last 22. He said that if that is not a difficult stadium and a difficult place to play, he has not seen one, so he doesn't understand any counter opinion on that note. So yeah, look, when you just read
You
the
got a link?
transcript,
Because I'm interested now. Wow.
again, it was all done completely above board and completely
Oh,
professional. And if you just read the transcript, you go, "Oh well, he's promoting these things," and then you stop for a second and went, "There's one thing he didn't promote in that, and that is noticeable as we
well, I,
talk."
I don't know. I don't know the chancellor. I don't. He and I've never met. That's impressive. I didn't even hear it, and now I'm interested in hearing it. So I mean, quick thoughts on something I didn't hear. So Chase, if I interpret something incorrectly, please correct me. It will not hurt my
Yeah, sure, go
feelings.
ahead. You're good.
I don't know Glenn Boyce, but I suspect he is smart enough and aware enough to understand that there's a reason that the players and the assistants haven't gotten their due, and it's not that the media sucks. The media sucks, but that ain't it. And I bet he knows that. He's not wrong. And again, because I get this email, Chase, and if I get it, I know you're getting it. That it's essentially the 4D chess email.
Hmm.
At this point, if it's 4D chess, you've got to start assuming that people like the person you just described is in on the 4D chess and is therefore an idiot. And I don't think there's any evidence to support the premise of Glenn Boyce is an idiot.
Or in on the
If you
joke. Hey,
if
we're
you
gonna,
go
we're
in and
going
go,
to
okay,
take
well
your
okay,
university and just yeah, we're going to take your university and just run it through all the mud for a couple weeks, okay?
I mean,
Just to
because
get a
why
little bit on
not?
LSU in Florida. Like,
It's just idiotic. I mean,
no, because like I said, I mean, it's worth watching because it was a master class in I'm just promoting my team and my program and my entire thing, and I'm just kind of talking. I'm telling you all the positives, and then when you step back, you go, "Oh, yeah, okay."
well, and it tells you also that that I mean, I know he's not the one conducting a search, but that obviously he's going to meet with legitimate candidates. He'll meet with whoever the next guy is before that guy becomes the guy. I'm guessing. Um, Tells you that they've got their sales pitch prepared, and it's hey, listen, I agree with him. I mean, I've covered this program for 18 years. I've seen it at its lowest, and I've seen it the last few years, and I give Lane a ton of credit. Have given Lane a ton of credit. Will continue to give Lane a ton of credit, but it's not all Lane. It
No, it
runs much
was
deeper than that. I mean, there were 68,100 and something people at the Florida game. I just can't. It's my brain's not functioning right now. I don't remember the 68,138. I think
that's fine.
at the Ole Miss Florida game at Vaught Hemingway. I was down on the field at the end. It was loud. I was at the Georgia game a year ago. It was loud. I looked around the country last week on Saturday, and I got to give a lot of credit to LSU fans, man. 40,000 LSU fans showed up dressed as yellow bleachers. It was
Hmm.
amazing. That was cool. I mean, to get that many people to dress up like a yellow bleacher is amazing. Alabama had a lot of people dress up as silver aluminum bleachers. That was cool. I mean, you just don't, to get people to go in full silver, the body paint and everything is remarkable. Um, Looked like Auburn did that. And then, of course, I mean, who in all kinds of weather the Florida fans show up. I mean, you saw that. It was amazing.
Blue blood people doing blue blood things in Baton Rouge and
Yeah,
Gainesville over the
blue blood
weekend. That's
people
all
doing
that
blue blood
was.
things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that that scene in Tuscaloosa where you get, I don't, I mean, in the middle of the day on a kind of a warm November day, you get 40,000 people to dress up like aluminum.
It's hard to get
Only the
40,000
blue.
people to do
Oh,
anything.
Chase, only the blue bloods do that, man.
Yeah, I know. Jamie, thank you for the Venmo. Appreciate you very much. Says, what do you think happened to Lane's social media? Did someone tell him to shut it down? Yeah, look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. I've got to be a little bit careful, but yeah, no, Lane didn't just choose to shut up all of a sudden. He has not chosen to shut
Come
up at any
on.
point in 5 years. So let's get there. Appreciate you. It's a valid question. I mean, that's what I answered on the board earlier. It was, hey, what we see as logic when sometimes we say why something is happening is not us giving our opinion. It's telling you what Lane thinks or what someone else has done, which is not always the same thing. Those are not symmetrical.
Obviously, you don't have to be a genius to figure out that Lane's social media was a topic of conversation in the meeting.
Hmm.
I mean, I know some people have to have 1+1 spelled out all the way. If I say,
Right.
hey, the word is a three-letter word, starts with C and ends with T and is a feline. There are still people that go, I'd like to buy an A, please, just to make sure it's up there. But it's obvious that's what happened.
Peyton, thank you. He says just happy Thanksgiving, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. I kind of almost am forgetting Thanksgiving is a few days away right now. It does not feel like that with our current situations, but Neil mentioned it in 10 thoughts. Thanksgiving is here. So very thankful.
I'm not gonna get all geeked up about my Thanksgiving this year because I will be at the mercy of airlines and after yesterday, I'm not super duper confident. So I'm just gonna chill with it. I'm not gonna get all sentimental about Thanksgiving. If I miss it this year, I just miss it. It'll be okay.
You will get home for while the kids are still home, though, right? When are
Um,
they leaving?
yeah, I mean, I think I'll get to see them for sure on Saturday, but Saturday's got a chance to be a disaster of a day. Yeah, I won't see him much.
Okay.
I did get to see Carson though because he came home Friday night, and so I got to see him Friday night and then a lot Saturday. So I did get some time with him.
A little schedule, a little bit of schedule change today. Look, I don't expect Lane Kiffin to say anything revealing at all in the press conference. A lot of you guys are going to get mad no matter what the questions are because Lane's answers are not going to be anything of relevance. I don't know what it's going to look like today. I'll be there, but Lane is scheduled to go at 12:30 today. Most weeks he is scheduled to go at 11:45 and shows up sometime around 12:30. So I don't know what changed to put on scheduled at 12:30 and then what the actuality is for when he walks into the room, but scheduled at 12:30. Also, and this happens every Thanksgiving, it's no change. They are
Nope.
canceling tomorrow's media op and bringing players today. Normally players on Tuesday, Kiffin on Monday. This year all on one day because that happens every single time at Thanksgiving. So none of this is anything to read into at all. My assumption is they are practicing at 11 o'clock today to match game time on Friday, and that 12:30 is give or take when they will be done because Lane Kiffin does not practice very long unless he is trying to prove a point. So they will be done very quickly this morning, in my opinion. So anyway, that's that. All right. Got a hot board up. We did put that up right after the podcast on Saturday. I assume that most of you guys have seen that by this juncture. I would definitely assume that. We were thinking about it. We had a couple different ways to go about it. We ended up putting it up. If you have not seen it, go to rebels247.com. It's there on the front page right now. And we just put Lane at the top. We listed him as the incumbent because he is, and it is 100% his job if he wants it. There's no doubt about that. So that is the way we went about it. And then we said if he does not want the job and he wants the LSU job or the Florida job instead, then here are potential and real candidates for that position at that point. So that is the way that we went about doing that. That is how we have operated with the hot board. And again, you can find it there on Rebels 24/7. We will update it as we know. I think there is a chance to get some updates by the end of today. Today, I'm not promising that, but I'm hopeful for that. I kind of expect that to some extent. So we'll see where it goes. Again, just stay over at Rebels 24/7, and we will figure it out from from there. I think that's where we are, and I'm going to talk about some of the timing issues Ole Miss has with this after in another segment today. But just something to focus on is this is a really weird, unprecedented situation. You kind of agree with me, I'm assuming, Neil, that you will be definitely publicly it will not happen. Do you give any percentage that Lane Kiffin will give at Ole Miss an internal answer prior to Friday, in your opinion?
I'd be surprised. I don't know that. I just based on the way this has played out, I would be surprised. I think Ole Miss has an internal direction. I think they have a sense of where it's going. That's fairly obvious. And the interview that you just described from with Richard with the chancellor with Richard Cross supports that belief of mine. Um, no, I'd be surprised. Listen, I still think Lane. Like let's say Friday Ole Miss wins, and Friday night Texas beats Texas A&M. I mean, Lane could push it to Saturday night just to see whether Auburn beat Alabama. Because if Auburn beats Alabama, Ole Miss is in the SEC title game. You know what then? Does he want to coach the championship game? I would bet he does. He probably has a contract. There's probably some bonus stuff in his contract. He wants to win an SEC championship. That would look good on his resume. That would look good on his legacy. Um, in a world where that doesn't happen, let's say Texas A&M wins. Um, I mean, I guess he could give an answer on Saturday. But what if he decides to hold Ole Miss's feet to the fire and say, "Hey, I'm planning to coach the playoffs." I don't know where that goes. It's why I thought the word expected to, those words in the statement were ambiguous, and I wondered whether they were accidentally ambiguous or whether they were intentionally ambiguous. I don't know. I don't know whether that
Correct.
statement was negotiated between the two parties, and or whether that statement was just a statement that Ole Miss put out because they thought this would quiet things down for a few days. I don't know those answers. Maybe you do. I don't. Um,
No, I do not yet.
so I mean, I know there's this sense out there that Saturday is going to bring finality, and it very well might. I just there's a little part of me that wonders if it actually doesn't.
So thanks, Robert, for the Venmo. Yeah, I got it right there on the screen. Okay, did a better job than I thought. Says, are y'all allowed to ask players questions? What's going on with this during the media op? Is that frowned upon? I mean, it's not frowned upon. They're just not going to answer. They have been instructed on that.
They're going to send in the players that are best at toting the company line at this point. And that's not a criticism. That's what every media relations people do. That's just what they do. Um, Lane's going to get some tough questions. But at the same time, when it becomes obvious that he's not planning to answer them, now you're just flexing your muscles, if you will, for no real reason. Um, yeah, I think he's going to get tougher questions after Friday's game.
Yes, that's when
If
it's
this hasn't
actually
been,
going to be.
because it's over at that point, although if I were advising him and my goal was to keep my options wide open, I would advise him to say, "Hey, there's still a couple SEC games that have to play out before we know whether obviously we don't control our own destiny in terms of getting to Atlanta, but there's a path where we get to Atlanta that's very realistic. It's Texas winning a rivalry game at home, and it's Auburn winning a rivalry game at home. If those two things happen, well, we're in Atlanta. So, respectfully, I'm going to decline answering that right now. And so,
In
I'm
Atlanta and given a bye, most likely, even if you lose it, because they're not going to punish the bye team.
that's my guess. So if I were advising him on how to sort of avoid saying something that pins me down, I would say we've taken care of our business today. Had we beaten Georgia, we'd be celebrating something different, but we didn't, and so this is a little out of our control. But we're going to go cheer for the Longhorns tonight.
Sark's my buddy. Go Horns. Yeah, I
You
mean
know, he
that's
could he
your
could even have a little fun. Arch has a chance to do something for Ole Miss. I mean, I would advise him to do that. Kind of steer into Barbie Lane, the guy that passes out the little playful barbs.
yeah, not Barbie
So
Lane Kiffin.
not Barbie Lane Kiffin,
You
although
don't think we need a Ken doll version of Lane? Mattel could. I don't think so. Is it too early? Is it too early? Are you too
it's too
tired? Is
early.
it too early?
It's too
Okay.
yeah. I don't really want to think about Lane Kiffin action figure right now.
Too early for a Coors banquet?
Yeah,
No,
and I
not
love a good
interested.
Coors, but not at 6:34 a.m.
It is 6:34. I didn't really think. Sorry, I just keep forgetting that a little bit in my head as we're doing this. Let's see. Joseph, thank you for the Venmo. Says happy Thanksgiving. New viewer here, loving the content. Do you think Keith knows what Lane is doing? And if so, who do you think the number one target would be if Lane leads? I want to get into the second part of that after the break. I don't want to do that quite now because we're going to take a break in a second. But no, I do not believe that Keith 100% knows what Lane is going to do. I do not believe Lane has indicated that at all.
Well, and let me say this because I will forget to say it otherwise. Someone's asked about a specific name in the hot board. Let me be really clear about the hot board right now. A lot of it is educated, and some of it is guessing, and some of it is from talking to people in the agent world. Some of it is from talking to other coaches about what coaches might be interested, what coaches might be looking around. We're going to have a much better idea of who really does and doesn't belong on a hot board here in the next few days. That was an initial, not guess is too ambiguous, but it wasn't ironed as a famous journalist in Mississippi once said, that wasn't ironed in concrete.
No. I'm just going to let that hang for a minute. But you're correct. Yeah, that's where we are with that. So, Joseph, thank you. We'll get to the other part in a minute. Actually, in just a couple minutes. First, we do that. Tell you about AnySpark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available, whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends. They offer both residential and business packages with speeds up to 2 gigabits. To earn more, register for service. That's nespark.com. AnySpark, get connected. Stay local.
Brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great people, products, and services. If you're in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, those areas, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Memphis, South Haven, Hernando, those areas, call Southern 662-429-4429. Oxford locals, Ole Miss families, if you need dry cleaning or laundry done right, Lapel's Dry Cleaning has you covered, proudly serving the Oxford community. Since 2016, Lapels takes care of everything from suits and formal dresses to comforters and everyday laundry. Even better, they offer free pickup and delivery to make life easier. Just call 662-638-3149 to be added to the pickup and delivery route, or visit them at 3010 Old Taylor Road, right across from the Mark Condominiums. Mention Rebels 24/7 or MPW Digital for 50% off your first order. Trust Lapels to keep you looking your best. We're also brought to you by ENT Physicians of North Mississippi, as the largest private ENT practice in the state. Their goal is simple: delivering fast, expert, comprehensive care for patients of all ages with ENT, allergy, sinus, dizziness, balance, and voice-related needs. With same-day or next-day appointments with ENT urgent care for that annoying cough or sore throat, in-office CT scans and same-day allergy testing, and access to their comprehensive audiology team offering a full range of services from hearing aids and custom hearing protection to potential surgical options, ENT physicians of North Mississippi are committed to removing barriers to care. They now have new locations in New Albany and Starkville, in addition to Tupelo, Corinth, and more. Get more details at entnorthmississippi.com or call 662-844-6513. My 10 weekend thoughts are up at rebels247.com, where you can, by the way, you can get 2 months for $1 right now. So really no excuse not to at least give it a shot, see if you like subscribing, see if you like the community. The 10 thoughts are up. They're brought to you by Andrew Seago Wealth Management. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago with Seago Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting and see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com.
I guess it's brought to you by the Jackson Graber Group with GMFS Mortgage. John Graber here locally in Oxford. He's a local trusted mortgage lender that helps all home buyers with first home, new construction, refinances. Graduated from Oxford High, Ole Miss alum, local in-house processing, underwriting, servicing, construction. Don't have people from other areas. If you got somebody that knows your market, also great condo financing, a lot of options there. If you're in the market for a condo, definitely give them a call. So again, whether you're buying home, refinancing condos, or just have questions, gmfsmortgage.com/JGG 662-762-4502. Lane Kiffin does not have any salary or buyout mitigation in his contract. It is why there's not even a world where you can just fire Lane Kiffin, as you would owe him whatever the complete buyout is at this point. If he had mitigation, it still would be risky as all hell, but you would know that some other school was going to pay him, and thus you're not going to pay out that amount of money. You would have that option, but that is not one. And then, as I wrote yesterday, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I feel very confident that the Tom Mars rule does not apply because Lane has been, if anything, incredibly open with Ole Miss regarding other entities. And it doesn't require some official notarized memorandum. Literally a text message suffices. Jimmy could just text Keith and go, hey, by the way, and then that would satisfy that requirement. So don't get too far down that road should we get to that. And now look, here's the other thing, and I mentioned this as we shift into timing a little bit, is that it's the one biggest positive, and it's a huge positive from that statement on Friday, is that Ole Miss can go do the search, the full search, go at it. I mean, you can bring people to campus, even though no one actually does that, but you can completely do that because you go, hey, we're protecting our interests. Lane, be aware, this is where we are. So,
And I think
that's
Lane is aware. I
yeah.
mean, I had someone tell me that Lane said something to another prospective coach. I don't know if it's true or not, but it rang true. I can't confirm it.
And they get along well, but no, I saw somewhere earlier in the stream somebody asking, does Keith Carter's friendship with Lane Kiffin impede his judgment here? No, not even in the stratosphere. I don't know if friendship is the correct determination, even though they seem to gee haw all right. So yeah. Neil is like a picturing them like going to like play cornhole in the park or something right now. I don't know. He
I just
what
yeah.
what what you got?
I was just sort of imagining Keith at the grill and Lane sitting at the table out there having an O'Doul's, just just talking guy stuff.
Just yeah.
Just
Was it
chatting.
guys being dudes? Just hanging
Just
out.
guys being guys. I just kind of have a feeling that doesn't happen.
Joseph, I haven't forgotten your other question. He says, another one, though, appreciate you there in Venmo. Let's say Lane stays. Do y'all think his actions over the past couple of weeks have hurt his relationship with some of the big donors? And if so, how do you fix the fan base and the donor base? Yeah, it's 100% hurt it. There's no doubt about that. Now, winning and attention spans fix almost everything. So it will be okay, but scar tissue remains. So the next time you even sort of hint at it, everybody is going to be out immediately at that point.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
short term,
if
you're cool.
short term it'd be fine, and it would end up being fine in the long term if he ended up starting to say, "Hey, I'm." He's now put himself in a spot where if he stays, he almost has to stay another 5 or 6 years. Um, it's why I kind of feel bad sometimes because it feels like we're making fun of Kiffin, and I don't want to. I don't think Kiffin's even attempting to play 4D chess either. You know, maybe something changes. Maybe he decides to stay. I do think there is an element of him being torn that's primarily based on what it would look like to walk away from a playoff team. I think he knows that there would be national criticism if he did it. I don't think he wants that criticism. I do actually believe he cares what people think about him. Um, you know, I thought there were some interesting things on the college ESPN Game Day show. It's a show I don't typically watch. I've watched it a good bit the last 2 weeks because I have a I have a belief that some of the narratives are being shaped from the outside. It's I think one of the risks that you have when ESPN becomes such a corporate partner is that you're going to get some corporate messaging, and I thought we got some of that on Saturday with Saban in particular. Credit to some of the other guys who had an alternate opinion. Um, but I saw where Stephen Godfrey tweeted this the other day, and I agreed with it. Um, that you could see what certainly looked like, Chase, some steering from the agency world, sort of trying to create a narrative where, and in some ways it's true, right? Where, hey, Lane, this wasn't a Lane, what was the word? This wasn't a Lane Kiffin conundrum. This is a college football conundrum. And for the record, I agree with that to a point. I think I've made myself pretty clear here, so I'll be consistent. I don't disagree with that in principle at all. I think college football has a wrecked calendar. They've made it a professional sport, and yet they've kept it on an amateur calendar, and it doesn't work. They should follow the NFL calendar. That's probably going to admit that these really aren't student athletes anymore, and I think right now that's a bridge that they're not willing to cross. That said, I still believe sometimes you have to do the right thing, and the right thing is that you coach your playoff team that has gotten you to the playoffs. It's been an amazing job for that program, assuming that they beat Mississippi State on Friday, to get to the playoffs with this roster a year after not getting to the playoffs with the roster that absolutely should have. To turn around this year and go 11-1 in that scenario and make the playoffs and potentially have a playoff game in Oxford in December is a remarkable accomplishment. And I think the right thing, in quotes, the right thing is that you stay and coach your team. And if that means that you commit to the school for another year, that's just what you have to do. But I do agree with the basic sentiment that Saban said the other day. But like I told you privately, and so I'll say it publicly, I found that to be hypocritical on Saban's part because there is a 0% chance that Nick Saban, in my opinion, during his career would have walked away from a playoff team to go to another school. My opinion. If you disagree, you're free to. That's cool. I get it. I simply don't believe that the guy that we watched dominate the sport for basically 2 decades would ever have walked away from a team literally days/weeks before a playoff game.
Mm.
Not unless he had some sort of a health crisis that simply required it.
Yeah, I have. I 100% agree with Godfrey on that point. That's what that was. There's no doubt about that. I think that is 100% pushed as a narrative from likely CAA. I can't prove that. I'm just giving an opinion right now. Um, and as Godfrey also said, and as NRB points out, it's also that Saban acts like, yeah, the coaches have zero agency and are just completely held. Like, I mean, you're not an innocent figure in this completely in every way. Like, that's just not the way it is. Because look, as you said, I empathize with Lane from the standpoint of the calendar sucks. Um, but he also is the only coach right now. And again, you can make of this whatever you want. He's the only coach right now trying to have his cake and eat it too, from the standpoint of the option to go to another place and coach his team throughout the entirety of this season. Again, anybody can put their own personal interpretation on what that means,
Yep.
but that is a truth as we sit here. Ed, thank you for the Venmo. Thank you a ton there. Let me know, however, best to do this. You said you sent me a DM. Let me know where that was. I have not seen that. I don't think, at least. So direct me, and I will be sure I comment on that. And if you have a question in the thread, please put it. Say Venmo, Ed, or something in the chat box, and I'll be happy to get to you. But I really appreciate you there. Also, real quick, and then we'll get into some of the timing stuff. Wicked, thank you. I know you said something up here a second ago. Let me get to it. It says, I noticed that SEC connected national media seem to be pushing Lane to leave while the rest of the national media thinks the concept is completely insane. What is that about? If there is anything to take to that, I do think there is a segment that, frankly, in some ways, thinks like Lane, that still sees name on helmet, and it's what they grew up around, and they are focused on what was more than what is, and it's just set in their skulls at this point that they have a hard time getting away from it. I do think you're probably onto something, and I think that's the reasoning for it, in my opinion.
And in fairness to them, and I think they're really wrong, and I think it's short sighted, but in fairness to them, this new world is still very new. I
Hmm.
mean, 3, 4 years, if you're in your 50s, you spent the overwhelming majority of your life with a set paradigm, and now it's shifted, and some people are very slow to change. I have found that I'm much faster to change than many of my contemporaries.
Thanks for the super chat. Jake says, I'm late. Do you expect anyone to ask Lane directly if he will make it known on Saturday where he'll be coaching in 2026, removing any expected? I do. I could easily be wrong. Neil and I might completely disagree. I do think the odds are that Lane will announce something on Sunday, or someone will announce something for Lane on Saturday. Not Sunday. Could be wrong. It's just, but if you told me I'm not at 100, but I'm over 50% probably. If you made me to guess one way or another,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to get that question directly today or not. I have really no idea what today is going to look like outside of him not answering anything directly at all. He is not going to give chum today.
And I don't think the local media is going to spend today fighting him, if you will. Friday, yeah, he's going to get people are going to ask some more pointed questions. And in a world where he loses Friday, whoo boy.
Yeah, I think Friday's the day. Honestly, I don't expect a ton today, and I don't think you guys should be angry about that. We have a score, we have a date, we have an expected date, however you want to phrase it.
Yeah.
We got a game to play that has even potentially implications on his decision on Friday. We're in a bit of a holding pattern right now, and Lane is not going to come out and go, "You local media, here's exactly what's on my mind." There is a 0% chance of that. So that's where we
I'll
are.
be curious to see his demeanor, how he sort of carries himself, frankly, what he wears. Um, a number of things. I don't think it's going to turn into a sparring match. Um, Frankly, the local media for 6 years has been nothing but fair to him, nothing but respectful to him. It is only within these last couple of weeks that some people have written some harsh things. I thought Brian Rippey's story on his thoughts on Lane. I thought it was harsh, but I thought it was legitimate. I thought it was completely fair. I played around a little bit in Neal's picks, but that doesn't count because I make fun of everyone in Neal's picks, including me, routinely. So I don't know that that's going to upset him. And in a world where it did, I think by now someone over there would say, no, don't let that one do it. He makes fun of everyone. He makes fun of Chase. He makes fun of us. He makes fun of himself. He's made fun of every coach everywhere. It's silly.
Yeah, you're looking for one if that's where you put it. So that's
Yeah,
not
you don't
that's
you don't
not
want to
it.
join that victim list.
Yeah,
Um, so
it's like two.
I
Um,
yeah. I mean, I think yeah. Most people are in on the joke now. I think Friday's the day that stuff gets pretty real. I mean, we're going to talk about the game at some point over the week. I will reiterate what I said the other day. I've thought a lot about it, and I've asked myself, did you when you say that, are you being too harsh? I don't think I am. I don't think he can not say anything this week, not commit, lose the game, and come back effectively.
yeah.
I think that ship would have sailed. Which is another
Peyton.
reason you don't do the 4D chess thing. You don't put yourself in that spot.
Mhm. Uh, Peyton says, "What are your thoughts on Ben saying they'd love to do an ESPN decision segment?" I don't believe that to be true. I think that's a ridiculous rumor. I know some people at ESPN who have completely shot that down. Number one, it wouldn't happen, and two, I do not believe that that was anything more than a rumor coming from an announcer making a joke, and then it
Yes, it
took
was a
on a life
joke.
of their own. I do not buy at all that ESPN had a meeting regarding that. I
Oh,
just don't.
it was someone making a joke, and the joke took on a life that it really shouldn't have, and that's not happening. Frankly, Lane's agency wouldn't sign off on that. No, nobody would sign off on that. That would be humiliating in a world where he did that. That would be humiliating in some ways to schools.
Hmm.
Well, if you're CAA, what you want to do if Lane actually is leaving is you want to be able to fill those two schools with your clients. Pissing them off to the point where they would be incentivized or motivated to just completely tell you to kiss off would not be a very good business decision. So
Yeah,
no,
telling your
that,
clients, "Hey, Ole Miss, Florida, LSU are off limits because we did something stupid," would be a bad business decision. So yeah, no.
it's not. No, it just makes no sense. There are people, and I'm not talking about Ben. I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but there are people that I think are looking at this thing so emotionally that they're losing some of their pragmatism.
Austin, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on what Stephen A. said about Oxford? He was ridiculous. Ole Miss has the highest African American population for students in the SEC. And I am really glad it did not pick up any more steam than it did, which was basically nothing. It never even gained any traction, and let it go sit off into Bolivia, as Tyson says. So we're good at this point.
And the fact, Chase, that it didn't pick up any traction shows you two things. One, that people are just he's just become a talking head who just makes noise out in the sphere, and then two, people know it's not true. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not. It's not the '60s anymore. That's the idea that African Americans or anyone else wouldn't be welcome in Oxford, Mississippi is absurd. It's easily proven otherwise, and so therefore it gets zero traction as it shouldn't.
Yeah. Completely with you. Galen, he said, thank you for the Venmo. Since it's leaked that LSU's made a $90 million offer, you guys have always said an offer is never made public until the school knows it's been accepted. So it's PR. It's everybody just making sure their cards are on the table. Um, all three schools have made considerable offers that are all somewhat in the same ballpark based off number of years in the agreement. It's just a nothing. It's news and it gets a ton of clicks and headlines, and it's people making sure that their school and their pocketbooks are out in the internet ether, if you will. That's what I think. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. I mean, I've heard a bunch of random numbers, but it's gonna. I mean, if he ends up at LSU, it's somewhere around 15 million a year. I don't know, somewhere in that ballpark. 14.6, 15.2, 15, whatever. I don't know. As we have said, I
Must.
believe when you're making 14 million, it's all freaking the same until you make like 50 million. So I don't know that that has any impact on anything.
I'm still waiting for someone to just let me do that experiment because
Neil
I would
really
have.
wants to know if that is a certainty or not. He wants some real firsthand experience on if there's a difference between 13 and 17 million.
Oh, I would sign. I'll do. I will
You
take
would
that
keep
bullet
Excel
right.
documents and flowcharts and explain every day why you believe there is or is not a difference in those two sums.
I absolutely will. And at the end of those 2 years, I will have $30 million and peace out.
Yes. Here's my results.
Here are my
Here's the
results. To
thesis.
discuss them amongst yourselves.
Yes. 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 I know. So anyway, all right. I promise I will get to the time and stuff. I appreciate everybody being really active here. That's awesome. So I want to make sure I give you give you due there. Oh, okay. I haven't seen that. Ed, let me follow up on you on 24/7. I have not done that, but I will do that again. Appreciate you. I will go find it. Drew, real quick, we'll go to break. Says, what's Ole Miss's nuclear option? Seems that we don't have an option but to play at lane speed. I hope I'm wrong. Neil and I were discussing that before the show. I am not an attorney. Lane has protected himself from some of the options for sure, but if you're Ole Miss, you have to, even if it's not a guarantee you win, you have to do one of those options if Lane will not come out publicly by Saturday. You just have no choice. Even if you lose, you have to suspend with pay. You've got to do whatever it is that you believe gives you your best chance, and then hope like hell it just works. That's what I think. So we'll see where it goes from there. But that is my opinion on that. Again, Drew, thank you for that there. Appreciate it. So does your home and auto insurance keep going up? Let the folks at the firm, Proud Liberty Mutual and Safeco Insurance Agency Partner, take a look. Founded by Ole Miss alum Brian Hayden, they service the entire Southeastern Conference. Let the team of licensed professionals review your insurance needs and put together coverages to protect you and your family without breaking the bank. Schedule a consultation by calling 662-236-1101 or emailing staff at thefirmsouth.com. That's 662-236-1101, staff at thefirmsouth.com.
You may have heard that Friday is Black Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving. It's the first official day of Christmas shopping. If jewelry shopping is on your menu, you need to buy jewelry for someone in your life. Recommend Arnett's Fine Jewelry. It's a fourth generation jeweler located in the old Lamons Jewelry Building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, genuine stone bands, pearls, color stones, diamond jewelry, flexible bangles, diamond pendants, earrings, whatever jewelry need you've got, they can fulfill it at Arnett's. They want to be your jeweler. Speaking of gifts, if you're buying gifts for the Ole Miss fan in your life, recommend the College Corner. Getting ready, I think it's state game is a powder game for Ole Miss. If you're heading to Starkville, they've got plenty of polos and tees in stock. They also have quarter zips, going to be chilly, hoodies, jackets, all the name brands you know and love, Nike, Horn Legend, Champion, Antigua, to name a few. If you're not coming to Oxford, you can go to Fleet Feet in Ridgeland. I'm sorry, to the College Corner in Ridgeland next to Fleet Feet, the College Corner in Flowood next to the Half Shell, and you can always go to collegecornerstore.com. Maybe you're thinking about flooring this holiday season. If you are, I recommend Kaiser Flooring. Kick up the cozy in your home this year with new floors from Kaiser Flooring. As certified installers, they're proud to offer a wide range of options, including heated tile. In fact, did you know they even build showers, offering a lifetime warranty against leaking? Wherever you stand in your home, stand confidently thanks to the specialist at Kaiser Flooring. Visit Kaiser Flooring in Oxford or Batesville, or check them out online at kaiserflooring.com. Since its inception in 1873, Coors Banquet has been brewed in the same tradition of the original 150-year recipe. Banquets crafted with 100% Rocky Mountain water. So when you're enjoying a banquet, you're drinking history. So this weekend, got all the shopping going on, the games, the rivalry games, the Lane Kiffin drama. Enjoy it all with a cold Yellow Jacket Coors from our good friends at Coors Banquet.
Every time. Podcast brought to you in part by New Albany Pharmacy and Solutions, newaubanypharmacy.com. 140 Fairfield Drive, 662-539-7777. Family-owned pharmacy with excellent service, wide range of gifts for all ages, home decor, jewelry, and more. Tell them you heard about them from MPW Digital and get 15% off any non-medical purchase. Again, we talked about the cooking tallow they have in, great stocking stuffers, things for the holidays and Christmas as well. So again, that's newaubanypharmacy.com, and podcast brought to you by Horn Legend. Horn Legend is your outfitter this holiday season. Hey, 4%ers, the 18%ers, we got those jackets and vests in for the women. They look outstanding. You should take advantage of those. And then for the men, the quarter zips, the full quilted vest, the normal vest. You got all the different options to outfit you, including those sports shirts that feel excellent. You can go under suits. I've worn them under suits. Wear them to church, wherever you see fit. Also, Realtree and Grove Collective items as well. All that, hornlegend.com, and please select NPW Digital in the drop down box. So, I've been trying to get to this. We'll do it right now. Timing. Fleet Feet should take an ad out with us. If you're Fleet Feet, you should holler. We're runner. We've run marathon. Like, you should do that. You know, I feel like the guy is like, hey, I played middle infield with whatever. He's got 9 Gold Gloves and I have 1. We have 10. But I mean, we have run 5 marathons between us. So Fleet Feet would be an excellent sponsor to promote those shoes. Somebody should give us a call. All right, so John Summerall is the best example of the timing issue. I wrote about it yesterday at Rebels 24/7. John Summerall is clearly a candidate, a very high level candidate for Ole Miss in this search if a new coach is needed. And again, it's a real world, really weird world as Keith is running a full search in tandem with trying to figure out what Lane Kiffin is going to do. So here's John's situation: is that he has talked to Ole Miss. His representation has talked to Ole Miss multiple times over the course of a period of time. Again, Turnkey has been working on this behind the scenes for a while because they would for any school or any corporation worth their salt. That's not a surprise or anything that should be making a headline at all. John has an issue. Let's say he wants the Ole Miss job more than the others, and I do believe he covets the Ole Miss job should it be open and ready for him to take or be offered to him. Is Auburn and Florida also have John very high on the list. I believe he is Auburn's number 1 candidate at this point. I saw people, including Jay Tate yesterday, say that Summerall was completely locked in for Auburn. I do not believe John has signed anything for the Tigers as of this morning. My opinion, my educated opinion, but that is what I believe. I believe Auburn is willing, at least right now, but this could change at any point, to wait on him to the Iron Bowl on Saturday. I don't think there is a window where if everything fell correctly, again, this is a hypothetical situation. Please, God, realize this is a hypothetical statement that I'm making. In a world where Lane Kiffin says he's leaving and you want John Summerall and you effectively executed your search, I do believe there is a threaded needle possibility there to get that done. Florida would be your ointment. Florida also is interested in John Summerall. I was told yesterday that Florida's the most likely of these 3 schools to pop first, that there is a chance Florida offers their job to someone not named Lane Kiffin here in the next couple days. And then at that point, if it's Summerall, it would just be really, really, really difficult to do anything but take the Florida job because you don't even know if you're the candidate at Ole Miss, and number 1, you don't know. Number 2, you don't even know if Lane's leaving. So even in a world where John wants Ole Miss and Ole Miss wants John, should they need a coach, I don't know how in the world you're not coaching the Gators and you turn that down in the meantime. I just logically that's a hard thing for me, and that's where Ole Miss is in a weird spot. Is while they can run the search at the same time as everybody else is running their searches, they have an inability to make a decision until they know what Lane Kiffin is going to do, and that puts them in a really weird predicament as we move forward.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're John, let's say that you rank the jobs, and let's say you have Ole Miss number 1, just for the sake of this argument. I don't know. The question that you have to ask yourself, and this is where I think the Ole Miss Kiffin thing is potentially problematic. The question you have to ask yourself if you're John is, can I afford to turn down 1 to 2 other high-level SEC jobs to wait on an SEC job that I think is coming open, but perhaps might not come open? And if it does come open, it might not come open for a few more days. And what's that like? There's a lot there. I mean, it's hard to say, yeah, I'm going to turn Florida down. What do you think? 8, 9, $10 million a year,
Mm-hmm.
life-changing money for John and his young family. I'm going to turn Auburn down, same thing, to wait on Ole Miss because I think Ole Miss is going to open up. I mean, if I'm advising John, I don't know if that's what I'm telling him. I'm like, I get it, man, but you
Bird in the
know,
hand.
college football is kind of volatile. You're at a G5. You're at a G5 that wins, but what if you have a year where you don't? Do you fall off? Do you lose? Does people lose interest in you? How does that work? Um, be tough. It's where I think Lane could complicate things if on Saturday he says, "Hey, I need to see what happens at this game." Like again, if Ole Miss beats Mississippi State, Texas beats Texas A&M. That's all it takes, Chase. Those two things to make Saturday night meaningful for Ole Miss. It's all it takes. It takes Ole Miss winning a game in which it's favored by 11 points or 9 points or whatever, and Texas winning a home game in which Texas is a 3-point dog. Is that right? 2.5-point underdog. I mean, 2.5-point home underdogs win all the time in a rivalry game. To make Saturday night meaningful. And I've covered the Iron Bowl enough to, I think Alabama's a 5.5-point favorite. I mean, a 5.5-point dog wins sometimes. They lose most of the time, but they win sometimes. Teams cover 5.5 routinely. So I don't, and if that were to happen and Lane were to say, well, I got to see what happens with that. So now you're getting to the end of Saturday night. You're getting into Sunday. If you're John, that's a lot. Now, on the Auburn part of it, is there any part of Auburn that's wanting to wait and play the Iron Bowl before you make a hire? You don't want to take any of the shine away from their kids, from DJ Durkin, from a chance to knock Alabama out of the college football playoff, a chance to have a big win on the Plains. What's Auburn's record? Are they 5 wins, 6 wins, 4 wins? I don't even know.
I don't either.
That's the part that's interesting. It's the part to watch with Florida really is and I'm not saying this is the case, but if John is their second choice behind Kiffin and you don't believe you can get Kiffin, the
5 and
smart
6.
move. So Auburn could become bowl eligible. Man, that Birmingham Bowl is awesome. Top Golf right there by the stadium. I love Top Golf. I'm not even a golf person. I love Top Golf. The thought of being able to go play Top Golf and then go play football, that's a lot. That's awesome. A couple of good breweries in Birmingham. Nothing like 4 or 5 days in Birmingham. In all seriousness, though, I mean, if you're Auburn, do you mess it up? Do you risk it? And so if they feel like they need to wait, and if you're Florida and you feel like, hey, we're probably not getting Kiffin, we can get Summerall right now. If you gave John an offer and said, but you have until Thursday at noon or something to take it, it'd be awfully hard to turn that down.
I agree with you completely. I just don't know how you do that, and that's Ole Miss's weird spot here. Is they 100%. Again, they can run the search. They can know what they will do if Lane says no, but Lane has to say something. They have a coach. They have a coach. Then they are 10-1 right now.
Yeah.
So why am I getting press releases about Mike's Hard Lemonade having new flavors all the time? Did I get on some list or something? I don't drink Mike's Hard Lemonade, but they just keep popping up, getting
Yeah.
inundated.
I don't know. I'm
That's
not
like
getting those emails and don't want them.
that's a competitor to Coors, right?
It's too sweet. If you can listen, here's the deal. If you can have a Coors Banquet in this hand, why in the hell would you put anything in the other hand? You want a Coors. Unlike Mike's Lemonade, where when you drink Mike's Hard Lemonade, you drink sugar. When you drink Coors, you drink history. Who chooses sugar over history? Not me. And you shouldn't either.
I had a buddy last night send me a picture of the case of Coors he had picked up at the store. Had it set on the table. Had it in. Getting ready for an evening. Watch some Sunday night football.
Oh, it's what you do on a Sunday night. You pop open a nice cold Coors banquet. You watch Sunday
Turn the
night
game
football. It's
on.
part of Americana.
You watch
So,
Pelicans Magic. You have a great time. It's fantastic.
oh,
It's
absolutely.
awesome.
Who doesn't? Yeah.
Yeah, the pressure would be on Lane pretty damn hard the week of the SEC championship game if Ole Miss did it. There is no doubt about that. Yes, 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 yes.
What
I don't
happens,
know.
Chase? Chase, let's
I
let's
don't
play that out for
know.
a minute.
I
Ole
don't want
Miss
to.
wins. Ole Miss wins. Texas beats A&M, and then Saturday night, big emotional night at Jordan Hare.
Isn't this like the
Auburn
third
pulls
time
it off.
potentially that Auburn or Alabama could win or the game could go a certain way and Ole Miss could make Atlanta? Like I feel like we've watched this game like 9 times over the years. They've gotten in
Let's say it.
position to go if the Egg Bowl happens. I mean, if the Iron Bowl happens a certain way and then it doesn't.
Well, let's say it happens. You're going to Atlanta in a week. What do you do? Because part of the argument with you can't push him out is it just doesn't give you enough time. Wouldn't that argument hold for another week?
I don't know. And maybe he just stays at that point. Maybe he's just in for however long at that point. Because look, again, I can't come up with a lot of tangible evidence that he is staying, but I continue to have people that tell me they believe he is.
Based on what?
I don't know.
Because I
That's what
keep
I just
asking people
said.
when people tell me that, I'm like, okay, what are you basing that on?
There are
And I
some
start.
people that believe that Lane will get somewhat emotional after a win on Friday and decide to not go. Again, I
Yep.
don't know. I'm real. There are smart people telling me that truly believe it, and I'm not
Well, I'll
making
tell you
fun. I'm being
this:
serious.
if I were advising him on Friday and he had an emotional epiphany and decided to stay, I would, as his PR person, beg him from the bottom of my heart to tell people I had an emotional epiphany. Not do this. I told y'all all along, I don't do anything until the end of the season. You flew your family to Gainesville and Baton Rouge and you talked to the Louisiana governor. You went a week where you wouldn't wear Ole Miss stuff. You had a big meeting that was publicized. Friendly media to you started laying out the reason. No, just say you had an epiphany. That would be step one to some degree of repair.
Good luck.
Yeah. Think Lane's ever used the word epiphany?
I don't know. Don't think so.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like a word that he thinks a lot about. Like, it
Really?
doesn't feel like Lane has a lot of epiphanies.
No. Grind does not believe that Lane is staying. Says Chase, tell those people to call me. I have oceanfront property in Kansas they'll love this morning. Look, until he goes, we have been very, we have not said anything definite because there is nothing definite.
No, I mean, I'm going to push back on people that say, you guys said, nope, we've literally never said, hey, this is what he's going to do. I think we've leaned in directions, and I'm certainly leaning in a direction right now pretty hard, but things do change. Life is fluid, things happen.
Message board appears to be giving Boyce almost unanimous high marks on his interview this morning as I'm scrolling around while you're talking.
I'm interested to hear it. He, I don't think Boyce is short on courage.
No.
Never met him. That comes across as someone who's not afraid to engage in the altercation, if you will. And look,
With
his
with
job is to
steady
represent Ole
confidence
Miss.
too. He's not emotional. He's not screaming about anything. He's just laying it out. There's a certain self assured and confidence that you have to just sort of here's what I'm saying. Moving on. I
Yeah,
don't have to be the
yeah,
loudest guy in the room.
yeah. And I think Ole Miss is in a, and he represents Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is in a position where you want to acknowledge what Lane's done for your program because it's a lot. He's done a tremendous job, as I wrote a few weeks ago. Ole Miss can't say that Lane Kiffin did not give it an honest day's work. Period. He's done a remarkable job. There's nothing at all in the past 2 weeks that take away from that. Nothing. A remarkable job. But it's also the duality of they believe, and I think they're right, they being Ole Miss, they believe that they have elevated the job to a different place than it was when Lane got to Ole Miss. In much the same way that Lane has elevated his status in the coaching world from where it was in 2019. Two things can be true at once. And so, in a world where this does end on Saturday in some shape, form, or fashion with Lane going elsewhere, Ole Miss is in a great position to move forward and at the same time recognize that Lane did a phenomenal job during his time at Ole Miss. I don't I don't I don't think there's any questioning that.
Hey Neil, one coach off the board this morning.
Who's
Not
that?
our board, just a board in general.
Okay.
Art Briles got him a job.
Wow, where'd he go?
Division two. Let's see, where was it? Eastern New Mexico.
Oh,
Yeah, the Greyhounds.
boy. Good for him.
Hmm.
Good time to be a Greyhound.
I'm excited to welcome Art to Eastern New Mexico University. AD Kevin Fite said he's an excellent coach, and I look forward to the future of Greyhound football. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
How
true.
about that?
Yeah,
Good for
just
them.
telling you. People helping people. All right, podcast brought to you in part by Chicory Market, chicorymarket.com. Remember, they've added a supper club on New Year's Eve, 7 to 9. No menu yet, but coming soon. But they've been incredible. They've sold out most of the year. I've gone to multiple of them. They led by Chef Heath Johnson, Ambassador Evans. They're awesome. So check those out again, 7 to 9 on New Year's Eve. I'll just leave that part out when Jinx comes and yell at me. Supper Club, New Year's Eve, currently 7 to 9 for that. Also, they're putting on a big holiday event that is coming up 11/29, November 29th from 10 to 2. Got a lot of different ideas coming up. Small Business Saturdays that day as well. So, plenty of vendors, a lot of stuff going on. Come in and get set up for Christmas with activities for kids, live music, free samples, and much more. So again, a holiday open house, Saturday, November 29th from 10 to 2 there at Chicory Market, chicorymarket.com.
We're brought to you by Argent Wealth. They're based in Ridgeland, Mississippi. They've got clients in more than 20 states. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Argent, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. To learn more, go to myargentwealth.com. We're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're thinking about planning a summer vacation, a holiday trip, whatever the case may be, get in touch with John, give him some parameters, give him a budget, and he'll give you options that you probably won't find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards at regencytravel.net. Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today and take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. I'll have a mailbag to you on Wednesday. It's brought to you by my friend Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email Art at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com.
Like I said, also brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine. Fill your prescription the same time each month and take care of you. So one trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. You have everything you need it when you need it from G&M. So again, whether that's Oxford or Holly Springs, 662-236-2222. Just a little bit of an update. By the way, no symposium this week from Declaration of Independence Center. Thanksgiving, obviously, on Thursday, so not doing one. Those will pick back up at the start of the spring semester on January 29th. They've been very highly attended this semester, so they want to thank you for everybody that's come out to those. Josh Hendrickson did one recently for a
Yeah,
member of
I
MPW
know.
Digital, but they pick back up on January 29th, so just a little heads up there on that. And then Ole Miss offering some cheaper tickets for Ole Miss basketball. They're playing the SEC Challenge against Miami. 8 o'clock on December the 2nd is the tip time for that one against the Hurricanes. It's my birthday. It's actually my birthday this time. But
Oh, is that
yeah,
right?
therefore, yeah. Why do you have a bubble come up? What was that?
I have a
A
bubble?
bubble came up on your screen. I don't know what caused that. Weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird. How did that happen?
I don't know. I have no bubbles here in the room
Oh,
that I'm aware of.
no, it was like a cartoon thing on the screen.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
we've never seen that before. Sorry. Anyway, you can get tickets for that December 2nd game against Miami. It's cheap as $15. They're doing that for a Cyber Monday hoops haul coming up on Thanksgiving morning and then ending on Monday at 11:59. So just heads up there. Rebels and Hurricanes from the Pavilion. Ole Miss, Iowa tomorrow night.
Yep.
Ole Miss is favored by 7.5 now against the Bulldogs. 11 a.m. kicking off an ABC triple header on Black Friday. Rebels by 7.5. Total pretty high, 62.5. The over under on this bad boy between Lane Kiffin and Jeff Lebby and Charlie Weiss Jr. and the whole gang together again there at
Uh, it's going to be
Scott
chilly, by the
Field.
way, in Starkville.
Is it
I think so.
48? Is what they're
Oh, there you
estimating.
go. There you go.
48 is what they are is what they are saying here. You have a sellout at Davis Wade Stadium. May or may not be because there are thousands of tickets that Ole Miss people have purchased to hand out. But yeah, there are currently no seats available whatsoever on
Money's
the away
green,
side.
Chase.
Well, I am waiting, and I don't think they've done it. I am waiting for like the state, like social media graphic celebrating the sellout. Where you go, it is, but a little bit of a weird situation here. But yeah, currently, no away tickets are available. The wayside tickets available there on the markets for the Bulldogs and the Rebels Saturday. Georgia Tech, that has lost a lot of luster now that Georgia Tech is 9-2 after that abomination. They were down 28-0 against Pitt on Saturday, and they are a 12.5 point underdog at home against the Georgia. No, sorry, at Mercedes Benz, not at home, at Mercedes Benz on Saturday. I mean
Oh, is that
Friday.
where that
Sorry,
is?
that's correct. Friday at 2:30 ABC and
I need to fix that.
12.5. And then in Austin, Texas, as you said, 2.5 point underdog are the Longhorns and Arch against the Aggies.
I mean, that would not be a shocking win if it happened. Nobody would look at that game and go, oh my God, I can't believe it.
No, there's a very real chance Ole Miss goes into Saturday night at 6:30 with life.
Just needing Hugh Freeze's team to get him to the championship.
Yeah.
Ole Miss could beat Jeff Lebby and then get Arch Manning and Hugh Freeze's team to get him to Atlanta.
Storybook.
The one year that Ole Miss doesn't want to go to Atlanta, they'd go.
Yes. It's the way it works, isn't it? Yeah.
I bet Keith Carter, if he's listening to this right now, we're just getting like death stares.
Yeah.
Like, don't speak it into existence. Don't speak it into existence.
Kentucky and Louisville from L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium in Louisville on Saturday, 11 a.m. That's a mouthful. But hey, as you said, the money's green. Whatever. Okay, sounds good. We'll do it. Louisville by 3.5 against the Kentucky team that did not really show up against the Commodores on Saturday. That was rough.
Either they didn't show up or the Commodores just took it to them, one or the other.
Clemson is a 2.5 point underdog at South Carolina on Saturday. It's not a good place for Dabo's squad to be. If you're an underdog to South Carolina right now, it's not going well for you. South Carolina.
No.
I mean, Clemson 6-5. I mean, it's good bowl eligibility. I think they announced that in the stadium. Clemson is now bowl eligible. Ole Miss has come a long way since 2008. Just saying. LSU and Oklahoma. Oklahoma minus 10.5 at home against LSU. 2:30 ABC. I'm just moving
I
on.
mean, how the hell is
I'm just
LSU
moving
going to
on.
score on Oklahoma?
Well, that's.
They couldn't score on Western Kentucky. How
Well, I
the hell are
told
they going to
you.
score on Oklahoma?
I told you I was sitting on the couch Saturday night, and I looked up and went, "You've been watching LSU Western Kentucky for an hour, and you have no idea what's going on in this game at all." And I got shocked out of my trance by Western Kentucky returning the fumble for a touchdown in the last like minute and a half. And then I went, "Oh, they have a chance." And I went, no, you don't get onside kicks anymore, so the game's over. But for a moment, you went, "Whoa, really? Can we do this, Toppers? Come on, one time, Western Kentucky, who was 8-2 coming in." So there was that. Florida State, Florida, 3:30 ESPN2. Oh, two teams that hate life right now, just all the way around. I mean, you couldn't get a more ridiculous environment in a negative way for this one. That's a 3:30 ESPN2. Missouri and Arkansas, an hour before that, 2:30 SEC Network. God bless both teams here. That's a rough one as well. Nobody's going to be overly excited. And then Alabama Auburn, the Iron Bowl, could have implications. Alabama minus 5.5. 6:30 ABC. Bama looking for a 10th win and a likely college football playoff berth. Auburn looking to get rid of the season, find a new coach, and potentially be bowl eligible while knocking the Tide out of the playoff. That is the motivation in this one. So,
Hey,
night, night.
I think Alabama wins, but
But you have
and
that the third of the three games that have to go Ole Miss's way.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Ole Miss would be first, Texas would be second, and that would be third. But yeah, I mean, if you told me that we're watching that game Saturday night going, well, we didn't apply for credentials, but maybe it's not too late, I'd buy it. Because I didn't even apply back when the credential thing popped up. Because at the time it looked like it was just so many things that had to happen, and here we are.
Yeah, yeah. Are you surprised that people are annoyed you're in California?
Who's annoyed?
I don't know. Our board's like, why would you do that? They don't see the full picture. Like, they're not getting it yet.
Yeah,
It's fine.
it's a little more complicated than that. But there's nothing I could do in Oxford today that's going to change
No,
the game with football. I mean, I'm not going to
no.
like throw stuff at Lane. I'm not going to go ask him, "How dare you lie?" I mean, I can't prove that he's lying. And you know, I mean, again, I'll say what I've said all along. I like Lane. Lane's been nothing but respectful to me. He's been nothing but good to me. I empathize with the position he's in. I do. I've said that. I'll say it again. I mean, in an ideal world, the calendar doesn't work like this, and he can coach his team to the end and then take a job that he really wants. He doesn't owe Ole Miss the rest of his career. He doesn't owe Oxford the rest of his life. He just does not. And so when people, I'm not going to be disrespectful to him. I mean, I have empathy for the position that he's in. I can think that you're not. I
Uh,
can think that you're not handling something well and still have respect for the person.
yeah, he's handled it as poorly as possible, but he has a point overall. Those are not the same thing. Yeah, yeah,
Of course, yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I've also been one of the people that's been beating the drum for this sport's messed up right now, and it falls on deaf ears most of the time with Ole Miss people because they've thrived in this era, and I totally understand that. It doesn't change the fact that the sport's really messed up right now.
Yeah. Okay, tomorrow night, Iowa and Ole Miss, 8:30 Central. We'll have coverage of that. Neil's sitting there right now. We'll have basketball coverage leading up, and then because we got a ton of new people, so glad that they're seeing a lot of our diverse coverage as time goes on. And then Ole Miss and Mississippi State Friday. Lane Kiffin today, 12:30 ish, 1 o'clock ish. I don't know. We'll have coverage of that as well. Rebels 24/7. So appreciate all you guys, especially the ones that send in stuff, the comments, the chat. You make this thing go every morning. We'll have another show in the morning normal time as well. So thanks to all of you. Converted back over to Rebels 24/7 now, and we'll talk to you again soon.